So hi guys, welcome to a wintry video, vlog, whatever you want to call it. Just talking about cameras really, that's what we do. 3/4 cameras we were looking forward to in 2021, maybe 2022 depending on how it goes. Obviously a lot going on around the world at the moment and obviously it's not good, but we won't get into that. What could be good is the A7 IV, the A9 III, and hopefully the RX10 Mark V. The A7 IV is basically, I think, is going to be basically a, well, it's going to be a replacement for the A7 III, but hopefully we'll get the flippy screen, the dual ISO and things like that that the A7S III has got at the moment. The A9 III, I just don't know what they're going to throw at that. Obviously the new screen and probably the dual ISO thing works really well, and what I'm hoping for is on the RX10 Mark V is obviously the bigger battery, the flippy screen, also a decent EVF, so the bigger EVF and softer eye cup and everything like that, so it's more like the A7R4 for example. Still the 24 to 600, you know, f4 at least. If not a little bit more range, maybe the 720 f4 would be nice. Even if they keep the 20 megapixel sensor, the 1-inch, now they've got this dual ISO technology, where obviously you bump it up, so you basically start down in your base ISO, so 100, and obviously as we know, you're kind of usable up to about 1000 ISO with the RX10 Mark IV. With some noise reduction and everything like that, depending on the lighting and the actual situation you're in. But anything more than that, it kind of goes a bit south really. But like you can see on the A7S III, once you get to, I think it's ISO 10,000 or 16,000 or 12,000, something like that, it suddenly cleans up massively. So if we could have that technology in the RX10 Mark V, so maybe when you do hit, you know, ISO 1000 or 1600, suddenly it's cleaned up again. If that's possible, that's a game changer for this camera, the next camera. You know, still have 24 frames per second, would be amazing. A bigger buffer and high quality slow motion video would be good. The technology is there now. The processing power and everything is there. The memory speed, the, you know, even the SD cards and everything are faster now than they were three and a bit years ago. So you know, we have the options. We have so much, but it all depends on how they are working on something like this. I don't know. Some people have said, oh, they're not going to release one, why would they bother? You know, and on the other hand, there's thousands of people I've had messages from, comments from, saying when are they going to release it, and I'm like, I don't know. You know, I'm only a small boy, I don't know anything really. I've just done loads of videos on the RX10 Mark IV, so you know, but I think with the way technology has moved forward again, mainly in the quality point of view and also speed, you know, it is a possibility that they will release something else, but I think they'll probably get the A7 IV out and the A9 III out first, if anything, just because obviously that's more of the higher end kind of side of things with the interchangeable lenses and stuff. But and obviously now we've also got the Airpeak, which is this drone system they're talking about, they're designing. So you know, is the A7C going to sit on it? You know, is that going to be the ideal camera? Is that why they made it? The A7C is kind of like a bigger brother of the A6000 series. So the A6400, A6000, A63, A65 camera. So it just looks a bit bigger. So that could, obviously it's 35mm full frame. So that could give, you know, the opportunity to stick on that drone, if that's what they're going for. We still don't know much information about it. So, but they're the four things that the four cameras that we're sort of looking forward to this year coming. I don't know if we're going to push into 2022 before we see anything, but we only got to look at the A7S II. That was 5 years ago before they released the A7S III. So, you know, was there a technological barrier that they thought, well, it's not worth releasing something until we can do this or can do that? So maybe with the RX10 Mark V, they're all waiting for enough of a, you know, jump in the technology to make it really something special. Obviously, we know the RX10 Mark IV is very special already, and what it can do is, you know, incredible. But you know, a lot of the time we don't know what companies are doing. We don't know what they're developing. They may scrap it. I hope they don't, because it's got to a point where we could do with another one now. There is technology there that is easily, I say easily, I haven't got an idea really, but it must be relatively easy to, you know, redesign the camera, even with the same lens, same sensor size, just bigger battery, different screen settings and stuff like that. You know, you could jump it up a little bit and it would suddenly be a different world for the next level. The only concern I have got is the RX10 Mark IV, when it first came out in 2017, was it was around about £1,800. Where you looked at it, the Mark III version was about £200 cheaper. So are we looking at a £2,000 camera now? Is it going to bump up the price a little bit more? I mean, to be honest, I haven't got a problem paying that if it's going to be that much better. You know, what are we going to see moving on to the A7 IV? Are we going to see a massive jump in technology again from the A7 III? So the A7 IV versus A7 III, what's the difference going to be? Probably more faster focusing, you know, things like that, better noise control, you know, things like this. It's possibly going to be quite small improvements. Build quality on the A7R4 from the A7R3 was noticeable. I noticed that very much so. So maybe they're just bumping up the quality as well. Obviously weather sealing and things like that will be improved. The A9 III, I don't know what they will do with that. I mean, is it going to have more megapixels? Same with the A7 IV. Is that going to jump from 24 to maybe a 30 or 36? Who knows? Obviously, Sony have got Canon to worry about. Obviously, their R5s and different cameras like they have now, which that's what Sony tend to do. They release something, jump ahead a little bit, and then Canon or Nikon maybe jump in, release something else, maybe pushing, and then it's just a bit of a like that, isn't it, all the time? So, you know, it's all competition, but it doesn't matter what you buy at the end of the day. It's your choice. You know, I chose Sony. I've stuck with Sony for years now, mainly because I know the menus and I know how they work, I know how they feel, and they produce the results that I want. You know, if I used a Canon or a Nikon, I'd probably still get the same results within reason. But there's always something out there for yourself that you go, yes, that's what I want. That's going to do me perfectly well for what I need. You know, the requirements are there, the price is about right, blah blah blah, and that's it. So I'm just hoping that, you know, they do release something later in the year. It always seems to be an October time. It's when they release it, announce it sort of June, July into August maybe, and then it's released October. So I'm kind of expecting if an RX10 Mark V does appear, it'll be about then. So other than that, guys, I think that's kind of a quick update on 2021, 2022. They're talking the Airpeak thing, the drone that they're moving into. That market is 2022. I'm not really sure. I've seen a couple of photos, maybe I don't know if they're mock-ups or if they are the real deal. You know, that's another side of things. I don't know if I would sell my drone, my DJI Mavic Air 2 for that, but then my Air 2 is going to be outclassed in 2 years time anyway, so maybe, you know, it may be something to look at, that if I did, you know, it depends what it does at the end of the day, I don't know. So that's another possibility. A7 IV, not really my cup of tea. I don't really need something like that. The A7R4 does me absolutely perfect. Love the camera. You know, it's not perfect like any camera out there. Nothing's perfect, but for me, it produces some amazing results. Other than that, yeah, who knows? Looking forward to seeing what's going on though. Just hopefully we can get through this year and everyone stays safe and happy and everything like that. So just a bit of a, not a rant, but just a bit of an opening chat really between everyone, just to get some thoughts through people's heads. Write some comments below. if it's something that you're interested in or you're thinking of. And we've got an advert.
Can be recycled as long as you separate the layers they are made of one by one.
Apparently so.
But ceramic does not.
Didn't know you can get adverts through your fire. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so basically, yeah, leave some comments below. And basically just, let me know what you think. We've had a discussion about the RX10 Mark V anyway. There's lots of people who have said what they'd like. Bigger sensor, this and another. I don't think you could put a bigger sensor in it because you're sort of changing physics and things like that. You'd end up with a bigger camera or bigger lenses and all this sort of stuff. So they'd obviously done their maths, and when they created the RX10, the first version, and the second and the third and the fourth, they've worked out obviously what can be done and what can't be done with obviously physics and light and sizes and things like that. So yeah, it's one of those things I think we just leave to the experts, but we can always dream. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, let's say leave your comments below. Any questions about any of the cameras I use, feel free to ask, not a problem at all. Please click the subscribe button and the little notification bell. Click the little like button as well. Please watch my other videos. If there's anything that interests you, or if you've got any questions about anything like I said, feel free to ask. I'll try and do my best to help. And have a good day. So I shall see you soon, guys.